So this is a screencast to teach you how to do a simple animation using Photoshop for your Project 2 animation product. The things you need to do before you can begin animating are: first, make sure you've activated Photoshop using the instructions your teacher projected in class. Second, you need to take a video of something to practice with, or if you have your final video of your 2 oscillators matched up ready to go, you can use that. And the third thing you need to do is you need to have some sort of image of a character or something that you're going to animate on top of the oscillators video. So I've chosen this little monkey that I'm going to show you over here. Now you'll notice that this isn't just regular clip art. This is something called a vector graphic. You need a vector graphic to do this animation. Otherwise you'll end up having, the white background around it. There's lots of things you could do, but if you're not really familiar with how to use Illustrator or something to take off the background or turn this into a vector graphic, my best suggestion to you is either to draw it yourself right into Photoshop, or to go to a website and Google free vector graphics. There's a website where I found this called freepik.com. I can show you that website. It's freepik.com. And you can type in things like, girl vector graphic. And you'll get a bunch of vector graphics that have nothing to do with what you want, but then you'll get a bunch of people. So maybe you like, the girl riding the bike or the girl in the outfit. And these are vector graphics, so you can select parts of them. This could be one where you could actually change her outfit or whatever, because that's how this kind of graphic works. So you want to get a vector graphic to animate, unless you're pretty familiar with Photoshop and you know what you're doing, and you know what to do in something like Illustrator. So I downloaded this set of little monkeys, and I'm going to take the little monkey with sunglasses on as my character that I'm going to animate. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to Photoshop. Now this is Photoshop, and you'll notice I have some spaces here. I have this big gray space. This is called my canvas. This is where my video is going to be, so I can work on it. I've got a toolbar over here with lots of tools. I've got a selection tool. I've got another kind of selection tool where I can outline something. And we'll use some of these tools in our animation, but not many of them. But over here on the right side, you'll see we have something called layers, and you're gonna see a long list of things over here, so keep this in mind. Then down at the bottom we have the timeline. If you don't have a timeline on your version of Photoshop, that's okay. Go to Window, slide down and select Timeline. Make sure your timeline is showing. Alright, so as I said, I already took a video, so I'm going to take that video. I'm going to File, Open. I'm going to find my video, Earbud Pendulum. And I'm going to click on it and open it. Now you'll notice my video is rotated left. I took this with my iPhone just sort of straight up and down. You might experiment if you're going to use a phone with how to take a video so you don't have to rotate it. But if you need to rotate it, you can go to Image Rotation. I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. It wants me to convert it to a smart object layer. I'm just going to do that. That's fine. Here I have my video. Okay, so this is my earbud, and I swung it back and forth to make a pendulum. So I've got my video now. Now I need to put my little monkey guy in there. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go down here to where it says Video Group in my timeline. I'm going to click this down arrow. This kind of lets Photoshop know that I'm going to be adding some stuff to the canvas and to not get upset about it. So I go back over to Illustrator. I select my little monkey, so I can select that one. I'm going to take the guy with the sunglasses. I'm going to use my shortcut keys, Control-C to copy. I'm going to go back over to Photoshop, and then I'm going to use Control-V to paste. I get this little box and it wants me to paste as something. I'm going to paste as a smart object. That makes sure all the little pieces of the monkey stay together as a monkey. So I can stretch him or make him smaller, and he won't really change much. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to take that layer and notice that it didn't paste anything, it just pasted this. So I'm going to cancel this. And I'm going to try one more time. You may run into this. So what you want to do is click on the video group and hit Control V, hit Smart Object, and that way you'll see now that my little Smart Object layer is above my video group. So I don't want the Smart Object that I just pasted to be down here in the video group because Photoshop doesn't like that, it won't show it. But if it's up here above, then I see my monkey. Now I'm going to confirm with this little checkbox that that's where I want him. And there he is. Now, I don't really like his size, right? He's much bigger than the little piece of the earbud he's going to sit on. So I can go up here to Edit. I can select Transform, and I can select Scale. And now he's got one of those boxes where you can change his size. You can probably do this right when you paste him as well, but I'm going to do this now since I forgot to do it. I'm going to paste him so he just kind of sits right here on the end of my earbuds. Then I go again up here to the checkbox, confirm where I want him, and there he is. Alright, so if you look down in the timeline now, you'll see I have a vector smart object, and it's got this long, it's going to go for, you know, a ton of frames down here. Then I've got my video. So when I hit play, my pendulum swings, but the monkey doesn't move. And then you'll notice when I get to here, he's going to disappear, and he's gone. So that's no good. That's not what I wanted. So I want to take this monkey and I want to animate him. Well, the first thing is, I don't want him to be in that location very long. So if I go to his layer right here, and I click down here at the end when I have this weird bracket, and stretch him down, I only want him to be 1 frame long. So I change my duration down to 1. Now he's only there for 1 frame, or 1 sort of click of the video. That's really small and hard to see, so I'm going to take this little scale button way down here and I'm going to move it so that stretches that out a little bit so I can see it a little better. Alright, so once I've done that, I'm going to use my arrow keys on my computer and I'm going to use the right arrow on my keyboard and I'm going to push it forward 1. And you can see now my monkey's gone, but my pendulum here has moved. Right, so I can go back and there's my monkey, and now it's moved. I would really like the monkey to show up. So I go over here to my layers where I see Vector Smart Object. I'm going to right click and I'm going to select Duplicate. And just hit OK for whatever you get. Now I've got 2 stacked on top of each other. This one's my copy, this one's my original. I'm going to pull this copy, click and drag it down next to my original one. So it's right next to my original one. And now, as you watch, start at the beginning, pendulum moves, but my monkey doesn't. So all I have to do is click on my selection tool, take my monkey, and move him over. So I'm going to step forward 1 more frame. Oh, he's gone again. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to right-click. I'm going to duplicate the layer. OK. And now it's kind of catching on. It's going to put the layer right there. There's my monkey. I'm going to move him over to the end of the pendulum. Okay, so now he moves with the pendulum. Now that I have 3 layers, and I'm just moving back and forth with my arrows on my keyboard, I can actually duplicate all 3 of those by holding down the Shift key and clicking on all 3 so they're all highlighted over here. I'm going to right-click, let go of Shift, right-click, hit Duplicate Layers, just hit OK. And now it put a group of 3 in, so I can step forward in the frame, step forward, and my monkey's not in the right place, so I'm going to move him, step forward, click here, make sure he's in the right place, step forward, click, move him to the right place, and now you can see he'll disappear in my next frame. But I now have 6 frames of monkey, and so I can click back and forth between those and see the monkey swinging on the end of my earbuds. Now I can repeat this process over and over and over again. Select all 6 layers now by holding down the Shift key and clicking on them. Right-click, duplicate those layers, hit OK. Now I've got 6 new layers, so I'll step forward with my arrow key till I get to the one where he's in the wrong place. I'm going to make sure I click on it down here so that it's white and highlighted, and I'm going to move the monkey to the right place. Step forward 1 more, click, move the monkey. Step forward. Now notice if I don't click, I can't move the monkey. So I have to click in the frame where he actually is, the layer he's actually in, and move him. Click, move, step, click, move. And you can do this as many times as you need to fill your entire movie. So if you watch, it doesn't quite end up where he's supposed to every time. I'm missing him in a frame or two. So I can check back and forth. Oh, he's totally missing. Alright, so where does he go missing? He's missing from this frame. Right here. He's not there. So I'm going to go back a frame, click, I'm going to copy this guy here. See if that works. Paste as a smart object. Nope, not what I wanted to do. So don't do that. Don't paste as a smart object. And you notice I'm now crashing my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and pause. I'm going to fix all this animation, fill up the whole thing, and then I'm going to show you how to complete it. So I'm just about to do my final 2 frames of this video. So I just want to remind you how to do that. So I use my arrow to step forward and backwards. I step forward to the edge, I click on the frame the monkey is in, move him to sit, move forward another frame, click, and I move him. So that's all my frames, and I did that by using the duplicate layer. Notice all these layers over here, okay? There are tons of them, but they highlight as you go through them. So the last layers here at the top, and they go all the way down to the beginning. And so I can kind of preview what my movie's going to look like by dragging this guy back and forth like this. You can see he's swinging on this pendulum, just enjoying himself. All the way back to the beginning of the movie. I can also step through using the step button instead of the arrow button, or I can just hit play and watch him go. Okay, it's a very short video that I took. I did not take a very long video. I even shortened it a little bit because this takes a while. So you can see there's some places where I watch and I'm like, that doesn't quite look right. Like here he's a little lower than he's supposed to be. So I can click and I can fix him and make sure he's in the right place. And click through and just check each one. You'll notice that I kind of shifted his position as I was going, so you might want to check various things like that to make sure he's always ending up where he's supposed to be on the pendulum. But I can kind of go back and forth and just check my video. And there it is. So I've animated a monkey swinging on my earbuds. Okay, so the last step you're going to do is you're going to render your video. You're going to make it into an MP4 file. So you're going to need to go over to your timeline. There's a little tiny set of lines with an arrow. You're going to click on it. One of the options here is going to be render video. Okay, I have the wrong video open. This is another video that I did. Let me close that one. We'll render the actual video. Monkey on my earbuds. Alright, so I'm going to render the right video here. Render this video. I click render. You can give it a name that you want. You can select a place to put it. I'm just going to put it on the desktop, I think. Maybe not, because my computer is going to be super slow. I will tell you that Photoshop is a big memory use program, so having other things closed is a good idea. Okay, so this pops up and I'm just going to pick the desktop and then OK. I'm going to call it Monkey on my earbuds and then I'm going to hit render. And it'll take a little bit of time to render. It's exporting the video. Let's see how long that takes. Okay, so when that's gone, when that disappears, it means it's done. So I'm just going to close down Photoshop. I'm going to go to my desktop. Now I've got a video here called Monkey on my earbuds. I'm going to open it with Movie Maker. I think you guys have Movie Maker. If you don't, you can open it with a media player or whatever. But I'm going to open Movie Maker because I can do some fun effects in here too. I can watch it real quick in a tiny version, see him swinging. But there's lots of fun stuff you can do in Movie Maker. You can add photos and video, you can add music, and they have a free music archive, so you could add some music to it. You could put a title on it, you could put some credits. Since I used this free monkey image, I do need to credit the designer of that vector graphic, and they give me a way to do that when I download it. So I want to make sure that ends up in there. And you can put some captions on if you want, or do lots of fun things. The animations here are not the animations you would think. They're more like slideshow animations. But I can do visual effects. I can emphasize various things when I project it. I can do some editing if I need to trim off ends or whatever. Set a start point, fade in, fade out. There's a lot of fun things you can do here. You can speed it way up or slow it way down. Like if it's too fast, I could slow it down. Now he's kind of jumpy because it's frame-based. But I could also, have him go much faster. And then if I go back to the beginning, he's way too fast. But there's a lot you can do in here in Movie Maker if you have that. If you don't worry. You can always just make your video. If you have questions, ask your teacher. This is Ms. Coilshirk. I can also come help you if you need help.